I have one that have gone through imprisonment actually. And when I met up with him after his release, he shared with me, he said, Miss Sharon, actually the most peaceful time of my life was in prison.
Oh dear.
I broke down, at a coffee shop. And I was like, wow, is this what our children are experiencing? He has always been in a perfect route, according to what his parents wanted and stuff like that. But he's doing things that he's not interested. He tells me, says that, my best time was in prison. Wow.
That's really a
wow,
heavy
you really got me, man.
Hi Sharon, welcome to our conversation.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, so Sharon, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon and I'm the founder and psychotherapist of Starfish Stories. So what I do, I'm an advocate, I'm an educator, and I'm also a psychotherapist in this mental health space.
So first thing first, I need to ask, why this name?
Why Starfish?
Starfish, wow, this one really need to go back to the founding story. So what happened was that 10 years ago, actually, I was already thinking of doing my own private practice one day. So I'm a Christian, so I was just having a chat with God, and I said that, God, I think I need a name for my company. What do you think it was? And I woke up from a dream one day, and this name Starfish Story came about. Yeah, it actually stems back from a story that I heard when I was in a church about this little boy at the beach. All right. So what happens is that there was a lot of starfish that was washed up to the beach. From afar, there was an old man. And this old man was just, looking at this boy and like, what is this guy doing? Kind of thing. Went up closer to him and said that, boy, what are you doing? There's so many starfish around, don't waste your time. And this boy looked at this uncle and pondered for a while. And then he just responded by bending down, pick up a starfish, and then he threw it back to the sea. And he said, but at least this one was safe.
Oh, wow.
Wow. To me, that story hit a very deep note in me. And really sometimes mental health is really about saving that one. And the whole clan gets safe. Yeah, so that was the concept that I had, and from then on, Starfish Story stayed with me. It sounded a little bit childish, but I was like, no, I'm gonna expand on this story behind it.
Yeah.
The at least one was safe. So this tagline has stayed on with me.
That is a very nice story for a name.
Behind. Yeah, why Starfish?
So because I was looking through it, I
was thinking if it's like got to do with when the starfish loses one leg, then you regenerate.
Yeah, you're right. There was a ex-student that told me this, I thought that, Miss Sharon, the starfish is something to do with, when their legs are broken, then they can regenerate, so it's like making new life. I'm like, wow, I never thought of that. so thanks, that adds on to the story as well.
Right.
Okay.
So Sharon, what do you do actually? Because I know we talk about counseling, we talk about
psychotherapy.
Yes.
Psychotherapy.
What is it exactly?
So at this moment of time, after 15 years of being a counselor in different spaces, educator at different institutions as well, I am currently adjunct teaching, and I'm also doing more advocacy work and psychotherapy work. So what does that mean? Very big words, right? So advocacy work is really about reaching out to groups, that do not know much about mental health. So at this moment of time, I was thinking, okay, what's the gap? Can we try to bring mental health to the different occupation groups that are really lacking of it? And I was just really thinking about, how can we go into the vets world? How can we go into the sports world? Because that was really one of my passions, which is the sports scene, right? Yeah, and I teach because I believe that as a counselor, I want to inspire the younger ones, to be able to do the same as me. I think there's just not enough. The younger counselors or younger individuals who are picking their specialization in terms of what to study, right? Counseling is probably not the mode of study that a lot of, not the subject that a lot of students wants to study, they
More
probably go
popular
into
lah.
psychology.
Okay.
They probably go into psychology, and then they go into different areas in psychology. But when it comes to mental health counseling, maybe lesser.
Okay.
And a lot of them who study psychology ends up to be practitioners such as caseworkers, maybe speech therapists, or they are doing a lot more on ground work. You know, with
So I got some
special needs and
questions.
all.
Because you mentioned counseling, you mentioned psychology, psychotherapy, right? Are you able to break down so that the layman can understand, right? What do these words mean? Like who do they serve, or what subjects?
Okay, so maybe let me just give you a broad overview about mental health scene. So you will hear a few words: psychiatrists, psychologists. You will hear social workers, and you will hear counselors. Okay, so psychotherapists, basically, I use that a lot more because I think in Singapore, I realized that when you say that you are a counselor, wow, the standard suddenly drop. The reputation drops quite a lot. You know, people think that you are just caseworkers or you are just some youth worker that's running around kind of thing. Volunteer kind of thing, yeah. So I introduced myself as a psychotherapist a lot more because that kind of image of professional comes in, right? So the difference is this: psychiatrists are doctors, medically trained, and their specialization is in mental health. So they are the only ones that will be able to prescribe your medication to patients, right? Then you have the clinical psychologists. These are the people who are researchers and also the people that can do assessment, that will aid the work of a psychiatrist. So they do assessment. They also do some form of intervention.
So assessments will be like they give like tests, questionnaires,
Correct.
and then they will assess
Yeah,
them.
right.
Okay.
So they will have tests, assessments, and they will do observation on the clients.
Okay.
Then you have social workers who mainly are really on the ground, dealing with policies, dealing with advocacies, and dealing with a lot of day-to-day needs that the clients actually need. Then the counselors comes in, taking care of the social emotional well-being, and also looking into how to better your life, basically.
So the counselors do not engage in any deep work, psycho work, or do they call it? Or
They do,
sessions?
really depending on which school of thought they come from as well. For me, I'm an integrative counselor, which means that I believe that there's no one therapy fits all, right? So it's really catered towards my client, depending on what's their issue that they have brought forward, and then what challenges they are facing, and then we will look into what are some of the methods that we can use to help you, because maybe you're very artsy, right, and you're very sporty. I'll use different things to work with both of you,
Right.
and at the end of the day, whatever speaks to you makes the change. That's what I want.
So
I mean, we give some examples.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious now.
Okay, so for example, like
so if I'm an engineer, I work an engineering job, and then he's a sports person. Yeah.
Okay, so it really depends on what's the issue that's being brought forward. Okay, some issues are what we call solution focused. That means for you, maybe in a very logical way, when I speak to you in a very logical way, you get it because you're an engineer, right? And there is a certain pattern of your thinking that you are kind of wired. A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
So when I analyze your situation and your issues, right, I'm able to say that, let's point it out from A to B to C to D, how this works, how this affects one another, and this is how change can happen. It makes sense to you.
Yeah.
But maybe for the sportsmen, right, they can be very active. Sometimes it's really doing activities to bring out a point. Sometimes it's looking into whatever meets their whatever fits their
by activities you mean what, like physical activities? Because
so it really depends on age group again. Okay, I used to deal with youths who are delinquents, and a little bit of ADHD as well, right? So they're very active.
Yes.
So one of the engagement that I use is, we are going to play basketball, and while doing basketball,
then chat.
we are going to have a chit chat, and these are what we call nuggets of wisdom or pointers that we can actually instill in certain
During the conversation.
guidelines during the conversation.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Because I don't expect the ADHD guy to sit down in front of you and then listen to you, right, for 1 hour.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. So there are many different methods. There are definitely many different things that people are interested with. And so I use different methods to speak to them. Okay. So I ever had a client who is very, very interested in, I wouldn't even say interested, he's quite gifted in terms of music writing. So he actually writes lyrics and stuff like that to express his emotions. And what I did was that, okay, bring in your lyrics, the songs that you have brought in, let's analyze. It is in the midst of the analyzing that we talk about the emotions. We talk about what brings out this portion of it, and that brings to a story. Okay. Right? And then you can do deeper work. So it's really using different methods.
Oh, okay, so in this time age, because when it comes to mental health, you come to psychology and all, if you were to go back to the 80s or even maybe the 90s, I'm unsure, right? It's really largely, I won't say unheard of, but not really well heard of. But only recent years, it's been a very, very huge topic, right? Yeah. I'm very curious, why so recently?
I guess also because we are more aware now. There's a lot more awareness. Our children are also more learned.
Is it specifically in Singapore or generally?
I think generally in the world, it is getting a little bit more catchment. And Singapore itself, 10 years ago, when I came back from school, still quite baby steps, kind of thing. But in the last 15 years, I have seen how we have progressed. Right, from that whole ideology about mental health is only for xiao lang, the whole stigma about mental health is only for xiao lang, we don't go and see a counselor, or the whole stigma about seeing a counselor means you are bad or you are naughty, that's why you need some correction, right? But today we are looking at going to see a therapist or going to see a counselor in a more positive light, where it is enhancement of my life. It's just like how I would take vitamins, to enhance my physical health. But vitamins are also pills, isn't it?
Right.
But it's so acceptable now, right? So we are moving towards a little bit more acceptance, but definitely more rooms to be done.
But very interesting. Actually, I have a lot of questions in my head, right? And I'm just trying to see how to structure it in a way that I wouldn't ask and offend people. Yeah. Okay. But before I go to that, I think maybe let's go back to you again, right? I'm very curious. So currently, what are the groups that you currently served?
So this is the interesting part. So when I started my own private practice, my question would be, where are the gaps, right? And I started a conversation with a friend who is actually a vet. And I realized that actually in the vets world, the statistics for suicide is actually quite high. For vets.
For vets?
Yeah.
Not animals talking about, right? We're talking about the human, right?
Not the animals, it's vets.
Right? In the world? Or?
In the world.
Oh, in the world.
In the world itself, yeah. Okay. And when I was working in the military, one of my boys who's going to be a vet as well, and he shared with me, me, Sharon, actually suicide is one of the highest among vets. And I was like, oh, how come? Why? And so I started reading up a little bit of it and had a chat with my vet friend who actually owns a clinic. And she did mention that, it can be very highly stressful. And also the concept of how they are the lovers of animals and yet they are also the killers of animals because they have to put them to sleep.
Yeah.
No choice, right? And so I think there's a lot of tug of war, and having to handle parents is another ball game itself.
Yes.
The long hours, parents, the guilt or the emotions that's running throughout the day. I think that is quite a lot of stress.
So what are the top two topics? Is it the handling of the life and death of the animal, or the customer service of the parents?
I think one of the top two will be customer service with parents, right? And also handling the long working hours.
The long working hours.
The long working hours, having to handle many cases in one day, right? Because there's just so many animals coming in,
yes.
Right? And so this was one of the first group of professionals that I actually decided that, let's bring mental health to this group of people. And I started to work with Clover Vet. Yeah, so they are one of the brave ones that says, okay, I think my staff do need some form of mental health services. Let's bring in this package, to support them. So it's been good. Spoken to them once or twice, sharing with some knowledge and stuff like that. They do acknowledge, and a lot of them are younger. The younger crowd, actually, they are learning to be not vets, but they are like vet assistants.
Right.
So curious, how does that work? Do you station there, or they come to you, or is it like please go and find them for X number of sessions?
So at this moment of time, it is available for them to use this package. So they can actually call me up.
So company buys
the
number
company
of sessions.
buys a number of sessions, and then the staff has been given free sessions basically.
So they utilize when they need it.
Yes, they utilize when they need it. And they can talk about anything. They can talk about anything. It doesn't have to do with their profession as well. It can be their own life, their own plannings forward. Yeah.
Right. So parents out there, right, please stop stressing your vet. They are humans too. They love the animals. Not that they are the one putting them to sleep, but they still also love animals, right? They are same as you. Yeah. So I think back to you, Sharon. Who else? What other groups are you serving?
Recently there was also another very interesting group. They are from the F&B industry. So same thing. It was I had a stress and coping session, training session with them, and the boss of this company actually felt that, I can see that there's a lot of anger happening within my staff, among my staff. There's a lot of complaints, there's a lot of a lack of performance, etc. And she was concerned. And she felt that, because they are unhappy with whatever that is happening in terms of stress over the work, the performance, etc. And it is also causing people to leave the organization. Right. And so because of that, I was approached to do a stress and coping session with them, to basically open up the door to say that, hey, we can actually address this from another angle. You do not need to leave the organization.
Okay.
Right? You do not need to leave the organization, because I think mental health, we always see mental health as, we need to sort out an issue. But mental health can also be enhancement of performance. Right? And so this was basically what I pitched, to the F&B industry, because you realize that kitchen is high heat, long hours. Actually, a lot of them don't have time for me.
Right.
To talk about mental health.
Yeah.
Where is the stress coming from? The kitchen or like the customers?
Well, it starts off with the customer as well. Start with the customer, then the rush in the kitchen, and then of course plus the heat that's in the kitchen. It's not gonna be the best combination, isn't it? Yeah.
So it's like the physical part of it, a consideration also for people, like to give them stress. Like, I'm cooking, I get burned on. So that's part of the things that they talk about. Like, why do I have to be here?
Yeah. So a lot of the chefs actually ask, I can handle what? Like, what's the big deal? It's just, sometimes get angry, it's okay one. But actually we want to be able to examine where the root issue is. Sometimes it's not frustration over the cooking part, right? Sometimes it's just frustration with life. Every day I wake up, I go to the kitchen, faced with all this situation. I have no time for myself. I go home, I sleep. That kind of me time that we talk about in other professional, right? We talk about, have me time, work-life balance. I don't think it happens in the F&B industry.
Okay.
There's no work-life balance, kind of thing. So there is always a root to how you express your emotions, right? And we want to talk about this. And sometimes it's really just about life. Nothing to do with whatever that's in the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, actually, we should have another session with her, right? On What's Up Doc, man.
Yeah. For the medical side of it.
For the medical side of it, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to you, Sharon. I think I also saw that, you also have other businesses as well. Are you able to share those?
Okay, so I also have other businesses. Currently, I run a mini, is really all startup. So is to provide coffee, cookies, some of my parents' traditional bakes, It's called Brookies.
Brookies. Okay.
Right, Brookies. So you brew your coffee and you have cookies.
Okay,
so
okay.
Brookies,
Brookies.
right? So Brookies is basically an organization that I started because with a few things in mind. One is that I wanted to do advocacy work, and what best when there's always food. Right? When there's always food, people comes around, we talk about mental health, we talk about topics that people are interested to talk about, and it becomes less daunting. Yeah, it becomes less daunting, and I think it's really opening up a space, an opportunity to advocate on mental health and a space to talk about it.
Right.
So I did my barrister certification, using SkillsFuture.
Always the credits.
Always the
SkillsFuture.
credits. Yeah. So I used SkillsFuture, to do my barrister course. And then I was like, wow, very, very short 3 days course. So humbling. I actually had a moment where I cried during my class because I
Cannot
couldn't
get the froth.
No, it's not even a fraud. It was I couldn't even curate the
Shot.
the shot.
Why?
And
It was
that
pecky
morning,
and all, right?
and that morning itself I was so frustrated because it was like, how come everybody can get it done and I can't? Even the I'm so sorry, but the old auntie does it. Kind of thing. And at the end of the day, it reminded me because when the instructor came over and says, okay, let's see what happened. All right. It was the weighing scale. My weighing scale had a different unit that I did not I did not realize it, right?
Ounce, grams.
And that created the whole morning of chaos and frustration for myself. And that 3 days of learning, right, was really so humbling because you would have thought, right, so hard, man.
Yes.
So hard, man. Right. Like just espresso and then, pour the milk. What's so difficult? I always look at the counter like, the barrister, quite easy, I can do myself. But 3 days was so humbling, like just getting the cafe art coming out, right? It's like,
How many cups do you waste to get
many cups and none.
Cannot drink, Anna.
No, can drink, but art is really up to you to think about it, lah. I don't know what kind of art is it, lah. Art is really subjective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what other business do you have, or what are things that you're doing currently?
So let me just quickly wrap up for Brookies. So
yes,
for
please.
Brookies itself, right? So coffee, cookies. So I was like trying to learn how to make New York cookies, to pair up with my cookies. And on top of that, having thought about my parents as well, because my parents are actually reaching their retirement age. And for me as a mental health specialist, right, I'll be like, okay, what are they going to do after retirement? Because we understand that there's going to be loss of identity. We understand that there's the loss of job security, etc. And so I wanted to create Brookies as another alternative for my parents to work together so that they can do a little bit business of their own. So we started in last Christmas selling pineapple tarts. Yeah, and basically it was baked by my mom so that it builds up that kind of confidence for her. Yeah, so that's Brookies. Another little I'm also the associate counselor, at Baby's Bliss. So Baby's Bliss is actually an organization that does alternative therapy for ladies who are having difficulties conceiving. Yeah, so what do we so as a counselor there, I would deal with relationship issues. I would deal with disappointment, and probably some in-laws issues and stuff like that. It really depends on what the ladies comes in with.
This is prior to the conceiving?
This is prior to conceiving, like in
Okay.
the midst of the whole
process.
preparation, the whole process. Sometimes it takes a while.
Okay.
Or they have gone through many other alternatives from seeing the gynae to TCM. Baby's Bliss is the third choice usually. That is the next best alternative.
Right.
So Baby Bliss is a support group or?
No, it's another organization that basically does alternative therapy
Okay. Alternative therapy for
ladies to prepare their body for conceiving.
Okay.
That's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's another very interesting group of people.
I hereby declare that we will invite Sharon back again. Without her saying yes, I will say that we will have to invite her back. Yeah, I'm going to have one session really talking about all this mental health. Yeah. and I'm holding back myself asking all these questions. Because as I was looking at it, there's areas where you focus about managing relationship, sexual health, things like that.
Actually, let's jump into that.
Sure.
Let's jump into that.
That's usually
Before
the
we go
juicy
back
part,
to
isn't
that,
it?
we jump into that first, then we come back to the main topic again. So why, how? What do you speak about in sexual health?
Okay, it is
we start with the context of the clients.
Yes,
What do they come to you for?
Yes. So it's a whole range of clients that I see. So I usually pitch myself as a sexual wellness educator. Educator, because I educate people in the area of sexual wellness.
Right.
Okay. We have clients coming from different groups. Some looks into fetish. Some looks into addiction.
Not the vet group, right?
Huh?
Not the vet group, lah.
Not the vet group. Sorry, vets. It's not you guys.
Okay.
Not the vet groups, but some comes in with fetish issues. Some comes in with addiction issues. Some are just having relationship issues with their spouses, right? Cheating, etc. And also some comes in with physical health issues. For example, vaginismus. Right, so what happens is that ladies who are
what's that?
We are trying to what's that?
So this is a condition that ladies actually experience due to stress. Due to high stress, what happens is that they're unable to have penetrative sex. And there's a whole exercise and also talking through about what is causing all the stress and stuff like that, right? And exercises being done by the couple in order to help their wives be more comfortable and are able to slowly move towards penetrative sex.
Okay. So
and of course, for guys, it's erectile dysfunctioning.
Okay, understand.
Yeah.
And what
Okay.
else?
You want to continue?
What else?
And what else? Regaining identity, especially for breast cancer patients, right? So it's a huge range. Not always about porn.
Okay. Okay.
So I started off with this interest because of one of my job actually. Because one of my job, I was actually asked to start up this counseling services at one of our institution. And I'm not going to say who because it will be too obvious already. Okay, and one of our institution basically working with sexual offenders within the institution.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was in the midst of working with all the so-called offenders that I got to know a little bit more about, actually, why do you offend? Why did you move towards doing what you have done?
Yeah.
Right? What is the concept? We always think that offenders are always guys, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think so anymore. It's a
Some-
50-50, now. Because girls are also more learned and more
Aggressive.
gung-ho and aggressive,
Yeah.
right? But most of the time, it is being brought up as the guys being perpetrators because in the law, it's easier to justify that there is this wrongdoing, right? For girls, a bit harder because girls are always looked upon as the weaker gender,
Okay.
right? But when we look into a lot of abuse and also abuse in a relationship is never just physical. It can be emotional, it can be verbal, which girls does it pretty well, right? Especially the verbal part, the emotional part,
Yeah.
right? And then maybe physical, comes from the guys more.
So I'm curious, when you talk about sexual offenders, can you give me an example? What's an example of a sexual offense in the organization?
Oh, okay. So it ranges from outrage of modesty
Okay.
all the way to rape.
Oh wow. The two
That
extremes
means-
lah.
Two extremes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or sometimes it can be just unconsented touches.
So
So
is
you
that
are
in
not
outrage
exactly-
of modesty? Is that in OM or is that like before OM?
Okay, it depends on where you touch.
Okay.
Depends on where you touch.
Yeah.
Right? and whether it can be regarded as outrage or modesty.
Right.
Okay. And basically, if the one who is being touched is offended, right?
Of course.
Okay. So, but how do they stay in the organization then? Because if they do this, then naturally the HR will come in and.
Yeah.
It's an institution. It's not an organization.
Okay.
It's an institution.
But
So
most
it's
organizations, but most organizations,
I actually when you say that I got it. Just keeping quiet.
most organizations will
So
will
there
have
is
a termination
so-
policy, right?
Correct. So whenever they are being called in for an issue of such, there will be investigation, and then there will be consequences that's being laid out for them. So some of them are expelled from school.
Okay.
Some of them had to serve maybe deferment
Okay.
for three semesters, 6 semesters.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be touched also, right? Because I'm just thinking if I send things to you, like virtually, it's also considered.
Considered,
Also
right?
considered.
Yeah.
Also considered because these are unwanted requests.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, can we bring back a little
Okay,
bit
bring it back
more,
to business.
right? So I think I'm asking for most people, maybe for I don't know, right? Actually, on which circumstances do I need to look for someone like you? Whatever,
Are you the first point?
yeah, are you the first point? Are you
Or it
the
comes from a referral?
yeah?
When do you need to see me?
Yes.
As early as possible, actually. As early as possible because I believe in prevention more than therapy. Because when it reaches the therapy portion of it, that means it's an issue that has been long rooted, right? And we understand that long rooted issues takes a lot more time,
A lot more to
effort
sweep up, right?
to clean it up.
Yeah.
Right? If you already notice that there are some form of issues that you are facing, talk about it early so that you find solution and you free yourself from it. Right? And you don't need to be, like trying to deal with it until it explodes. Then you're like, oh no, I think I need to see somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a big advocate for awareness, prevention, hopefully working myself out of job. Right? Hopefully working myself out of job because people are so well aware. They have so much knowledge to be able to help themselves, that we don't need to see people going the medical route or the long-term therapy route.
Yeah, so as long as they feel that there's a problem with them, they want to find someone to talk about it and all, they should seek help on that sense already.
They should seek help. Yeah, because a lot of, I would say a lot of clients, they kind of know what is the problem, right? But from my perspective is that because my background is in psychology and stuff, I'm able to explain where it stems from, how it started. It could have developed into where you are right now, right? So it makes a lot of sense to them. Like, oh, okay, I never knew that was a contributor to what I'm facing right now.
Right.
Right. So it's really, really giving them a lot more insights, giving them alternatives, to be able to do it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for all you viewers out there, right, if you have anything that you felt that is not right, please do look for people like her, Sharon. They will be there to help you. Right. Don't drag for too long. Yeah. So back to the main story. We leave that as a teaser for our next episode, right? Yeah. So back to the main story. What got you inspired to start off so many businesses?
It's really, I think I'm just too greedy.
Don't say
I
that.
think I'm just too greedy where I just want to use different forms, different ways, different forms, to bring out mental health, to the community, and just trying new things, trying new things that I think may work, and can be beneficial to the people around me.
Right.
Yeah, and so I started Brookies. I started Starfish Stories because of counseling, and with all the experiences that I have, that's one of the areas that I definitely will start. Brookies was really the whole concept about how can we bring these kind of messages subtly to the community and not like you don't have to see a therapist because it's still not well accepted, right? Sometimes but. It is true. Your one cookie, your sticker behind that gives a encouragement and etc. I think it makes it makes someone's day. So and that itself is that little acts of mental health services that we provide.
Right.
Right. one of the push factor for me, or I won't say push factor, one of the I would say push factor for me to keep doing all this was because I was very clear about coming back to Singapore when I completed my studies in Australia in 2010. Somewhere around 2009, well, I'm revealing my age, but yes, 2009, summer, I came back home. I was visiting a relative, and on the tables, right, there's this newspaper called the New Paper. So, yeah, if you know what the New Paper is, you would have been from the same era.
Same era.
Same era. So what happens on what was written on the New Paper was that the headline was on "We are not a couple." Basically, it was a story of two teenagers that decided to take their life through jumping. And they left a death note that stated that we are not a couple. We each have our own issues in life, and we are friends. We talk about it, and we decided that this would be the best way to solve our problems. When I read that article, actually, it really hit a very, very, I felt painful in my heart, that our children who are in Singapore, especially, we are blessed with education. The higher the education, actually, the lesser our societal issues should be. Mm-hmm. The correlation should be like that. But unfortunately, if our children are choosing methods of such, right, to solve their problems, I think it's a big worry. And so after reading the article, I went back to Australia to finish up my last year of masters, and at that last year itself, I was preparing myself to come home. So there was no big, consideration whether to apply for PR, continue to stay there, do some professional work, gain some experience before I come home, because I feel like
the industry there is also like more developed and larger, right?
Yes, definitely ahead of us. Definitely ahead of us. But it was really carrying the whole thought about, doing more advocacy work back in Singapore that I came back from my studies lah. And so with that became my decision in every work that I do, in every organization that I go to as well. And probably that's why I go to different organization, working with different denomination group, always new, and learning things. Because to me, going to different organization, working with different denomination group gives me the opportunity to understand how this group of people actually works. What are they really thinking? How can we help them a little bit more?
Are you able to share your journey?
Yeah, of course. I started off as a youth counselor actually, with Boys Town. With Boys Town. So really working with delinquent youths on the streets, struggling with gangsterism. And my clients are those, where you have your parang in your bag, where you go to school kind of thing,
Yeah.
So one period of time, there was a lot of hoo-ha over gang fights and stuff like that. So these are my clients, from the school. And also sad cases such as students who are actually dropping out from school because of family issues. Right? They are unable to finish their education. Yeah, so this was my first batch of clients that I worked with at Boys Town. Then moving on, I was called in by Temasek Poly to be a psychology lecturer. That journey was, I would say that was my longest journey as in an organization, 4.5 years. But was really, really the best time of my life, and really learned a lot, because I was given the opportunity not just to enhance my my academic knowledge, but also working with students that I saw fruits. I saw a lot of fruits in terms of how my students interacted with me, and how some of them actually went on the same route as me. Where they also wanted to be a
Inspired
counselor.
by you lah.
Yeah. And currently they're all doing very, very well. So, and I was also given a chance, to do student development, where I groom leaders within the faculty itself. So it was a lot of very first time experience, but rich, very, very rich. After Temasek Poly, I taught for a while, and I told myself, okay, maybe age is catching up. Let's get back down to the grounds and do something, because with the whole ideology of, if I'm inspiring students, like if I think that these are the things that can be done, let's try it out. myself, right? And so my first stop was back to the sports scene. So I've been in a sports scene pretty much in all the different organizations from Sports Singapore, National Youth Sports Institute during that time, sports school, and I also have been involved in associations. And basically really trying to advocate for what we call athletic counseling. But I guess during that time, still very new, the focus wasn't on this.
Right.
Yeah, so after a good 3.5 years, another opportunity came, which is to go to a university to work with sexual offenders. Yeah, and on top of that, also to do advocacy work on mental health, where I taught a module of peer supporting peer, which is to teach students how to peer support. Right? And that journey also took me another 3.5 years. That was during the COVID season. Yeah, so it was an eye-opening area because wow, sexual offenders, how many people really work with them?
Yes.
And I have questions from my friends, like, Sharon, actually, how can you work with them? I'll be very angry. And that got me thinking but they're still humans, right? They also need that kind of support. And I'm sure it's really, really stressful because some of them loses their scholarship. Some of them are expelled from school. You can imagine what are they going to tell their parents, right? That kind of disappointment that all of them go through. I have one that have gone through imprisonment actually. And when I met up with him after his release, he shared with me, he said, Miss Sharon, actually the most peaceful time of my life was in prison.
Oh dear.
I broke down, at the coffee shop. And I was like, wow, is this what our children are experiencing? So sad. Because, he has always been in a perfect route, according to what his parents wanted and stuff like that. But he's doing things that he's not interested.
Right.
And yeah, so sad, right? He tells me, says that, my best time was in prison. Wow.
Oh, that's really a
wow,
heavy
it really got me, man. Wow. And then later on, I was given another chance to do something crazier, which is to join the military. Not as a soldier, but because military was starting out mental health services at Tekong itself.
Oh, okay.
So I basically supported recruits who are going
to tell them why they must serve the nation.
no, but to help them go through their cope and also to go through their first 3 months to 5 months of BMT.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a long demand? Like, do they line up in front of you?
No. We do have a good number of clients who are facing with difficulties. And this is not surprising because the era has changed, right? Yes, everybody says that they are strawberries and whatever. But the truth is that we as parents make them strawberry also lah. Right? We pamper them, we give them the best. Some of them have no idea what bus is, public transport, right? So now they are being put in a situation where they are living with another 15 other boys snoring in the same bunk. That's not going to be comfortable, right?
Okay.
Getting dirty every day. And
how do they go and find you? And I'm curious.
So they are referred. They are referred by the medical doctors.
Their peers won't know, right? Because they know confirm kana. Right. So it has to be rather harsh, right?
We are quite known on the island, right?
Okay.
We are quite known on the island. And we also try to advocate that, hey, this is not something to be laugh about. You'll be surprised that actually mental health is not just grounded by the counselors. There's a huge group of people who are behind the scene, from the officers.
The commanders will also
the
support
commanders. And then every school would have what we call an orientation officer as well.
Okay.
It's like the mothers and the fathers of the school that takes care of the pastoral care. And then comes your medical doctors, and then comes the counselors. So there's a big group of people working together to make sure that every guy that comes in to serve the nation will be well lah.
Okay. I don't think I had that. Did you?
I'm aware of it because of my
Changes.
exposure.
Okay, I was just thrown there into
No, we were thrown there was we were okay, but if you reach a certain stage by the medical doctor, then you'll be referred to them. We have not reached that stage yet. Yeah, be thankful.
Pretty sure it was 自生自灭 then.
And so after the MINDEF side, then that's where you started off your own companies.
Yes, so this is 6 months after leaving a full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 months after leaving a full-time job and starting on my own, doing all the advertising, and working things out, doing programs, learning new things so that I can dish out different creative ways, in the mental health space.
Right.
I wanted to ask in an entrepreneurial point of view, at which point did you decide that, I think this expertise can be commercialized or it has value to be a business?
I think it's really trying. It's never knowing completely that this works. But it's really giving the chance to say, I think it works. I've looked through all aspects of it, all right? And let's give it a go. Is there a company out there that wants to try this? And if it's successful, we do it more. If it's not successful, we change it. So that was really how I look at every project that I dish out. To the different organizations that I work with. Because different denomination, different stuff, right? I work with elderly, I work with youth, I work with married couples. So it's really different as well. Yeah,
but I mean from a corporate to a entrepreneur, that transition, how hard was it?
Financially, it's hard. Okay, financially, it's hard. You really do need to have a bank full of money as a form of support for yourself. Because there'll be days where you probably need them. All right, there'll be days that there's no income. Right, as much as there can be packages being bought and stuff like that. But if no one comes to see you, basically there's no money lah. Right. So don't even need to talk about your bonus and all this. There's none of all this. So financially itself, I think it's important for young entrepreneurs to say that you have a bag full of money, and you don't need to be a lot. Okay, really depending on how much expenses you deal with on a monthly basis, and then try. Yeah, but for me, I think I've been very, very blessed because the moment I decided to be on my own, one of the things I started was to go back to adjunct teaching. Also because I've gone out from teaching about 10 years, and I would have accumulated new tricks, right? And so it's time to teach again. Yeah. Right. So that became one of my bread and butter. While I established the rest of the little businesses.
So adjunct teaching can be seen like a consulting freelance role, is it?
Yes, it is also considered freelance, where it is not so much of consulting, but I think it's me giving back to the next generation in a different manner. Yeah, so I believe that teaching and practicing goes hand in hand. So I must practice in order to teach. So that I always have new tricks in my bags to enhance the student. Yeah, because they are dealing with different eras and different group of people. Yeah.
So when you mentioned that we transited over, right, finance was one of the issue. Are there other concerns that you had as well?
I think the concern was also what will people think at my age to transit to becoming an entrepreneur of your own, and also having sometimes you also have the doubts, whether do you really know what you're doing, right? Because there's just this much life left, and most of my friends at my age, they are very stable. They are talking about early retirement and stuff like that. And here I am at my stage of life to say, I'm pioneering new things. Yeah. So it's really dealing with this kind of conviction that you have. For me, I also want to make sure that my parents understand, right? That what are you doing? I've spent so much money on your education. What's the ROI on this? Right? So sometimes it's really the whole stigma about how what makes you think that you can succeed when there's everybody else that that has not. Right? That has not. So definitely the viewpoint of others is definitely another area that was concerning. But yet again, I'm very blessed because I have a whole bunch of friends and people behind me that always tells me, Sharon, I think you can. Very, very supportive. So I think they are the people that push me out a lot more. While sometimes I think my self-doubt is the one that stops me. They are the one that pushes me out and says, no, I think you can. Do it. Okay, let's try.
So on that note, I'm actually very curious. I mean, you've been an entrepreneur, or rather, in fact, such fantastic experience, all the way from a corporate to an entrepreneur, right? Throughout your whole career, what was your biggest roadblock that you ever faced?
Throughout my career,
be it an entrepreneur or personal, yeah. Because you mentioned you have so many supportive people behind you, but I'm sure you have your lowest of the lowest time.
I think lowest is, okay, I wouldn't even say it's roadblocks. I always see things as learning opportunities for me. But I'm also the kind that can be a little bit impatient. If I see that this can be done in this manner, and if I propose it, and I think my roadblocks is a lot to do with having to convince people that it may work, right? And having that kind of approval from whether it's your bosses and stuff like that, to say that, can I have some money to do this? Right. Can you let me try this? I think that was really a struggle for me in my professional life, where I realized that I do not want to keep impressing people, or do not want to keep reshaping this project because it fits what you want. And that got me, that was one of the push factor for me when I started my own entrepreneur journey, because I want to do what I want to do, right? Not because of the rebellious streak within me, but really about, let's try, we never know, right? And some of the questions that was asked to me by my bosses, right? Has anybody done it before? I say, but if somebody has done it before, then what's the point of me doing it?
Just copy only.
And so I always struggle with this kind of getting this kind of approval, and then in the end you don't get to do it, and you're like, all right, move on. Right? So I think being an entrepreneur gives me the autonomy to be able to say, okay, I'm gonna do what I think is good. I'm gonna package it the way I think it should be. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we change it. Yeah. So I like that autonomy. I like that kind of creative juices that only I understand, and I don't need to impress or convince anyone that is done otherwise.
Yeah, but as an entrepreneur, are there days that you wake up and saying that, or rather you dread waking up and say, this is a bad day, no, I don't want to go back to work, I don't want to wake up anymore, I don't want to start this business anymore, I should go back to corporate life?
Okay, it's still early. It's still early. It's only like 6 months into this, and I'm not hoping to feel like that yet. I wake up every day asking myself, okay, what needs to be done? Which are the areas I need to prep myself? So every day is still very fruitful, right? And for me, I believe in doing fruitful things, purposeful things, and so I would, and because I've got so many ideas and so many businesses, right? There's actually never-ending stuff to do. There's never-ending stuff to do, and there's never-ending things to learn, right? And so I just try to do it one thing at a time. Yeah. So hopefully not reaching that stage yet. Yeah.
So in this whole, you did mention there's a lot of things to do, right? And there's some challenges that you mentioned in terms of finance and all. Actually, I wanted to ask just now when you mentioned that. So how do you then deal with it?
Financially?
With all of this tornado of things that's going around you, the many things that you
maybe let's break it down, right? I think first thing first is, let's talk about your favorite topic, mentally first.
Yeah.
Right.
The mental health.
First?
Yeah.
I think mentally...
She's the doctor.
Okay, so mentally, I am someone who is relatively positive as well. So that's how I keep myself grounded. That's how I also make sure that, okay, things need to be done, let's get it done. right? And one thing at a time. So for me, I don't really allow that kind of stress to overwhelm me. Because if I'm stressed, I still have to do it. If I'm not stressed, I still have to do it. So let's just get it one thing at a time. Yeah. And I think there was a friend who actually reminded me, and it was very, very good reminder. She says, Sharon, you have no timeline. You have no timeline, and so take it slow and steady. Wow, that actually caught me thinking like that, because when I first started, right, I was trying to rush. I was trying to rush, like, I need to get this done, I need to get that done, I need to, I feel like I'm not progressing, but then I sit down and like, hey, but it's been only 2 months, right? I feel like I'm not progressing, I feel like, maybe this needs to be established and stuff. And there was this friend that actually reminded me, he says, Sharon, actually you have no timeline, which means that you can take your time, slow and steady, to establish. Wow, and that really hit me and says, okay, this is a good conviction that I should have, and I work towards that. So every day, I would actually tell myself, okay, these are the things I need to do. Slow and steady. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. What about physically? What you say that there's a lot of things to do.
Physically, if you're talking about exercise, not so. But I spend a lot of time meeting people. And that becomes my my recharging.
Okay.
Yeah, my recharging moments where I meet people, I talk to people about what I'm doing, or looking at new ideas, sharing about life and stuff like that. So that recharges me. So physically, that's the max I do right now. But of course, trying to get back to exercising. What is recorded. So trying to get back, to exercising as well, because that is definitely one element of natural antidote for mental health. Yeah.
So that's recommended, exercising.
For sure. Exercising, perspire out, go for a run, have your me time. I think that itself is actually the natural antidote for mental health.
And in your experience, why so? Is there a biological thing that people should understand that is because of the cortisol level, the dopamine that hits?
Yes, it does. You do need to perspire to induce happy hormones within yourself. And so you will hear a lot of runners or people who go to that gym, right? After their gym sessions, they will always feel like, wow,
I feel good.
I'm so pumped up, I feel so good. Yeah, that's really because you have perspire out, and it really induced that kind of happy hormones within yourself.
Okay.
So that's natural, right? That's natural. Right. And then you are able to find a little bit more energy to go back to face your families. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the third element, which is financially. Yeah. How are we doing?
So financially, really, I won't say work my ass off now, but because I do adjunct teaching, I do all the different small little projects, all this brings in income, right? And I think it's really living within your means. Living within your means, you will start to realize that, hey, actually, you don't need that much things in life. Yeah, you really don't need that much things in life, and that actually, what you used to earn and stuff like that, and used to spend on, actually you don't need them. Yeah, you don't need that. And now that I work from home a lot more and stuff like that, I also buy less, right? And so in terms of financial, it's good enough, but it's not extravagant, right? It's not at the stage whereby, you can just go out and spend lavishly kind of thing. So not at that stage, but same thing, slow and steady, it will start to accumulate again.
Yep. I think before we head on to more questions, right, let's head on to our Enzo segment first. This is the Enzo segment. Over the course of interviewing and networking, we realized that many people do not know what question to ask. Hence, we came up with this. It's as simple as pick up a card and ask that question. Right, so Sharon, right, I explained to you what Enzo is all about, and I have the whole deck of cards here, and today we'll be doing Act 2. So feel free to pick any 2 cards and we can read out questions and you can answer them.
Okay, maybe these 2 then.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
You can read it.
Okay, I can read it, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
Read it.
Okay, first question. How did you handle the transition from your old life to your new career? So I make sure that I have a plan, right? So I make sure I have a plan on a daily basis. When I first transited, a lot of friends knew that I was not working. And then it started off with brunch, lunch, dinner. Then I realized whole day I didn't do work. So I told myself, no, I cannot. No, the transition needs to be stable, like how I was working, right? And so the 9 to 5 needs to be locked in. You know, where I go back to my home office, I sit down, I do work, right? For whichever company that I am actually working on. So the 9 to 5 is for me to do my work, and of course I give myself a little bit of a break. If I'm done with my work, I'm done for the day.
Right.
So that's the kind of transition that I have. So a little bit more flexible as well. If I really need to meet friends for lunch, it's the lunchtime.
Yes.
And then I go back to work again. Yeah. So that kind of transition that was being made, and also making sure that every day when so I live with my grandma. So when I head back to my own home office, right, I dress up a little bit proper. So I'm not in my PJs you know, like I'm not in my shorts and t-shirt all the time, because that sets me to say that, okay, I'm going to work. Right? I'm going to work. Okay. And so it's putting that kind of mindset and that kind of persona to a workspace. So that was how the transition is. And also saying no to some of my friends who says, hey, long lunch, cannot.
Okay.
We can meet earlier for dinner. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of the rules that you set for yourself, because most people when they start on their journey, right, they flexibility is anything goes. Yeah.
It lasted for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I felt horrible that nothing was
not
achieved.
productive
not productive, and every day I'm just spending money. But it was good fellowship with my friends, because sometimes my friends don't get to see me. Not even sometimes my parents don't get to see me as well, because I was so busy, right? But now I have a lot more time, you know, to spend with my dad, because now he's retired. He comes over to my work home, and my friends will try to catch me, you know, during the lunchtime and stuff like that. So it was productive in that aspect, but in the work aspect, no, it was a bit slow.
Okay.
Yeah. So that kind of discipline needs to still be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I also want to ask you another question on Bud, because you mentioned that you dress up
To
go to your home office and work.
Yep.
Right? And today, currently where we are is actually a work from home era kind of a thing. And most people will really just wake up, t-shirts and shorts. How important was that to dress up and go to work?
For you.
I see that as important because that sets my whole mindset of working. In my PJs, I just want to noir, right? So and it feels like you are never out of your bed. You know, kind of feeling. And that's for me. And getting a shower, styling my hair, you know, put on at least a bums and t-shirt proper, you know, and then I go to work. I think that gives me that kind of start. It's a routine start, you know, that I put myself on, and that's important. Yeah, because once I'm in that dreamy state, you know, I feel like it takes me really, really long, you know, just to make my coffee, sit down, find my work.
Everything
Everything is just very draggy. Then the next moment you're like, 12 o'clock already?
No.
Nothing has been done.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that is like the kind of routine that it's just symbolic. You know, symbolic routines
So
that you
just
go through.
gear your
Just
head
gear, you
and
know,
do it,
yourself. Yeah. It's just like how you know, as an athlete, right? You put on all your gears, you know, my knee pad, my socks, my shoes, make sure everything is all good. Training starts.
Right.
It's that kind of preparation that I do for myself.
Right. Yeah. So the second question?
All right, the second question. Can you share a piece of advice from your mentor that significantly impacted your journey? Actually, it's not. I would say there's this phrase that really I get reminded all the time. He's not a mentor. He was one of the ex-boss that I had. Didn't like really do a lot of interaction with him. But there was one statement that he said. He said, "Do it right. Do it once and do it right."
Do it once and do it right.
Yeah, do it once and do it right. And this statement was like, wow, revelation again. Because, you know, a lot of times we always think that, you know, we should do this trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, trial trial for kind of thing. And then we learn from mistakes and stuff like that. But when he said that, let's do it once and do it right. And I was like, this is such a important statement that requires so much preparation behind,
Yes.
and so much more thinking behind that says, okay, before I do something, let's look through every single thing, okay, and that make sure every grounds is being covered. All right, and let's do it once, and let's do it right. Wow, so that is one statement that I hold on to very dearly as well. One of the ex-bosses that I work for.
Well, that was great advice actually.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and that's how you use Enzo. So Sharon, I think we have quite talked a fair bit about your whole journey and all. Now I want to bring you back to the past.
Okay.
Right? And if I go back to when you're 18 or 21, would you have done anything differently?
Not so leh. Actually, I realized that, now when I look back at my own life stages, the different subjects that I've studied, etc., I always feel like it has contributed to where I am today. So I started off in a diploma that is business related, right? And then later on, I did a degree in arts and sports studies and psychology, right? Then after that, I did a master's in counseling.
Oh,
There's no link at
right.
all, right? But I would say that all these experiences gives me the different kind of knowledge actually gives me skill set that I'm able to use today as an entrepreneur, right? I'm able to look at things from a different perspective, all right, and having different skill set that was developed in the early days, to do what I do now. Experiences in life. I always see it as opportunities, right? If there's no failures, there's nothing to learn, right? And I take my failures as areas that I hold on to dearly so that I do better. Yeah. So would I change anything? Not so. I think it has been a very fulfilling and exciting life till now lah.
For us till now.
Till now, yeah, and looking forward to more exciting things that happens.
So when you were sharing the track, your study track, right? I was just thinking, what would your advice be to the younger people aspiring out there to pursue a single track, or to be like you, explore different, diverse? What do you think is the thing?
I would say, do what you like. Okay, study what you like, because naturally you will be able to excel. And this is something that I tell all my students as well. Because I also noticed that some students will share with me that, Misha, actually this is not the subject that I really like to study, because my parents want it. I really see them struggle, I really see them struggle. And on top of not liking the subject, they're expected to score A's. So sad.
Check.
Yeah. So I will always tell my students, I said, don't be afraid to try, but do something that you like, because you naturally will excel, right? And in terms of don't be afraid that it is a subject that nobody approves of, right? Nobody approves of, but do what you're excited about, because then you'll wake up every day feeling excited. Right, so that is my advice usually to my students. And don't focus on your A's. They are good, but you lose the meaning of learning.
So I'm asking on behalf of the students also, because if they study what they like, how do they know whether they like it or not? Because they choose the subject before they
exposure. Exposure. It's really about exposure. So for me, I started off with business. I was doing events management and corporate communications. I like them. But would I want to do that as my profession? No. Right? But I like them. Eventually, as I grew older, I saw a little bit more. I understand that there's other professional careers. I was exposed a little bit more. And I asked myself, hey, I think psychology interesting. Yeah, but during that time, I think psychology is also not a subject that is fully approved. It's like, and the concept is this, is if you study psychology, then you'll be exposed to all the xiao lang. Somebody told me this, I was like, really? How come? Right.
You don't need to study to expose to xiao lang.
Yeah,
Xiao lang will
you
just turn
can be
out
exposed to
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, never mind. Let's just give it a go, and mine was in sports studies and psychology. So I married two things that I feel like at that time I was really interested in, especially in the sports industry, because my ultimate goal, actually, I wanted to be a physiotherapist, right? Because I had physiotherapists, working on me, as an athlete and stuff like that. I thought, hey, this job actually okay,
Yeah.
I quite like it, but it didn't happen this way. It didn't happen this way. And I realized that I also like teaching because I started coaching. I started coaching, and my mom actually told me, says that, so why don't you go back to school to teach and see whether do you really like teaching? Because I actually applied to be a teacher with NIE, but I was rejected twice.
Twice.
I was rejected twice, and that was
Over
why.
what? 6 months? 1 year?
2 years. 2.5 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a full-time athlete for 2.5 years, not schooling, because I couldn't get into school. That's the truth to it, right? And so I told myself, I think I like teaching, right? And so I went on to try it out. I coached, and I really found a lot of satisfaction, especially helping my players who can't play volleyball because they can't coordinate their legs and their hands, right? To being able to play well and score points and people cheer for them. Wow, I really find a lot of satisfaction. And so with that whole mindset, I actually went on to do my degree, thinking that I was going to come back to be a PE teacher. Right? And then eventually when I was moving towards the end of my degree, I asked myself, maybe I should shorten my career plan, because counseling was meant to be a retirement job for me. So I cut short the whole journey, and I decided to do my master's in counseling after that. All this, if you ask me today, right, did I plan it? No, definitely not, man. I think it was really at that moment of time where that kind of maturity, that kind of exposure that I had helps me to make new decisions every stage of my life. And this is also something that I tell my students a lot. I said, like COVID has taught us, like how in school you always hear the teacher say, if you plan to, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Really? COVID tells us that is not true, right? You can plan to succeed in everything else, but when COVID comes, nobody knows when it came, and it just wipe out everything.
Yeah.
Right? So you can have a lot of plans, but be flexible about it. Right? And I tell my students the same thing, where you can have a plan, but be flexible and open to see what comes ahead and what you have been exposed to. Make that shift.
Make that change.
Right?
But
Make
nonetheless,
that
you
change.
must have the plan, and then you shift the plan accordingly.
Yeah, you can have a general plan, but don't need to be so
Fixated on
fixated
it.
on it. Yeah, and sometimes even if you have no plan, it's fine. Right? I have students who comes up to me and they are like, Miss Sharon, how I don't know what I want to do. Then they get very like, all disappointed about themselves, like how come everybody has a plan and I don't have. It's fine. Let's just move and see what doors opens and grab hold of the opportunity and go. Yeah. So that itself would be for me how it works. Nothing was really planned. Yeah. In fact, when I did my diploma, right, so funny. First day of school, I went back home. I told my mom, I said, Mom, I think after the diploma, I'm done with studying. I don't want to study anymore. I don't think studying is for me. But then I ended up studying a lot more. I have no idea how.
That's how life works. It
Yeah,
gives
that's
you
how life works.
changes comes your way.
Yeah.
And then we have to adapt, right? Yeah.
But on that note, and then let's go back to your subject matter expert, right? So what is the most practical advice that you have for all these maybe young founders or people who are maybe trying to reach success in whatever track is it, whether it's entrepreneurs or the corporate, right? In protecting their mental health?
I think it's really going slow and steady, like what I was mentioning. Don't over-accomplish, in a sense. Okay, when I say over-accomplish means the concept of when it is success will come in due time when you get the small things done, right? So focus on getting the small things done, okay, and you will move towards success. It is natural. Yeah, it's natural. So don't get too overwhelmed with the final goal first. Focus on every step that you need to take. I think that is something that I remind myself a lot as an entrepreneur. And I think for young entrepreneurs, keep that dream going. Keep that dream going. Keep that same emotions that you had when you first started to say, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to start my own business. That kind of energy that you had, you need to keep it. And of course, with the mental health perspective of it, give yourself some space and me time. Okay, because I think for entrepreneurs, right, what happens is that sometimes you forget that you need that kind of break and me time. Because now you are your own boss, right?
Yep.
And you and whether it's success or not, right, it's all on you now, right? And so you will put a lot more pressure on yourself.
Yep.
And you'll realize that a lot of entrepreneurs, one of their stories that they will always say is that, I burn out. After a couple of years, I burn out, or this whole journey is like you got to do everything yourself. Like there's no time.
Yes.
Then might as well just work for somebody else, where you can go to work, still got holiday, got MC, whatever, right?
Still a leave.
But as an entrepreneur, you must always understand that this is a business that you are building. So slow and steady is important. Keep that mind space sacred. Where when it's time to knock off. Yeah. So don't, because you work from home, right? You have 24 hours, where your kids are sleeping, you're going to do some work, knock off. Yeah.
So on that note, I'm curious, right? How important is it for entrepreneurs, right, to actually have their own therapist or, I don't know, a support system?
I think it is important to have a support system, but may not need a therapist, right? You must have a good support system who's encouraging and not naysayers, right? And also keep good people around you who are experts in helping you to grow your business as well. I think as an entrepreneur, one of the things that you probably will struggle is that everybody seems nice, but who is really the one that can help you? And when I say help you, it's really not about, help you succeed, the kind of person, but really who is the one that you're mingling with that will be able to cheer you on. I think that's important. So having that kind of support system will actually be one of the most important. Be it whether is it your own spouse, or is it whether your friends. If you're from religious group, your religious friends, etc. Yeah, these are important. So not so much of therapy, but if you feel like it will help you change mindsets, because I also do believe that when you mingle with the same mindset people, you thrive differently, right? And so not so much of therapy, but more so a little bit like a career coaching, life coaching kind of mentor. I think that would be helpful.
So I'm curious, just now you mentioned burnout. Are there any signs in your expertise and experience that we should take note of before we reach burnout or leading to burnout?
So with burnout, right, it usually starts off with a couple of physical telltale signs. Sometimes you'll get headache. Sometimes you probably feel like, a bit of
headache is like out of sudden, or you see someone, you always get headache.
Those different category. That one, I don't know what kind of headache is that. Okay, so basically, with burnout, right, you will start to feel emotionally a bit down. Right? A bit down. In terms of energy level, you are not so high. Okay, a little bit down. Maybe you lose interest in some of the things that you used to do, and it started to feel like, nah, not interested anymore. One of the things for burnout is that people stop meeting friends. Right? Because it's like, I don't want to meet people because I got nothing to talk about. Right? Or they start to physically feel a bit of what we call somatic pain. It can be like flu, 经常生病, right? That means you always get sick, and you don't know why. You sleep well, you eat well, but you're always falling sick. So it's what we call somatic stress.
Somatic
that's
stress.
actually playing out in your physical body. And by the time you're really burnt out, wow, that takes a while to climb back again. Because you need to reignite the motivation, the concepts, the energy. Yeah. So burnout comes in many forms. It can be from for entrepreneurs, it's really burnout from developing their careers. If you are a caregiver, you also have caregiver burnout. If you are parents, you can also be burnout, right? So burnout basically means you have no more energy lah. You're done and wasted basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't want to reach that stage. Once you feel like, there's a little bit of a bit of a, for lack of a better word, sian, start to do something about it already.
Right. So for you guys out there, right, if you ever feel burnout or sian,
Find the sian indicator.
Yes, find the sian indicator. Do something about it, right? You only live once, right? Do what you can, right? So back to you, Sharon. Now we brought you to the past. We brought you to your journey. So let me bring you to the future, right? Or rather, I want to ask you about your insights about the future. So what do you hope with your company and all, right? What do you hope to achieve in the future?
I think for me, for Starfish Stories, is really building a community of practitioners. Hopefully, a team of practitioners who are able to support the community. A lot more to do with awareness, a lot more to do with advocacy work. And they need not join the company, but they are spokesperson, okay, for mental health. I think that itself is what I hope for the company to move towards. And always doing more creative stuff that others don't do. So moving forward is really looking out for gaps. How can we do it creatively? How can we also tap on strengths of the new generation, to bring about this topic in a different manner?
So which, in terms of mental health, right, how do you see it developing in Singapore? When you speak about that industry?
Well, I think we are getting a lot more awareness. And we are also moving towards a little bit of self-diagnosing all the time, right?
Which is
we are putting a label on ourselves,
which is not the ideal, lah.
I wouldn't say that's the ideal.
Okay.
When I was in Australia, I see it happening a lot because they were more developed in this area as compared to us, right? You realize that people were just labeling themselves. Oh, I'm ADHD. Because I'm ADHD. So that's why I'm like that. It's like, no, you can be different. Your diagnosis is not your identity, right? And sometimes we do see the community moving towards that, where if you are facing a psychological issue, right, diagnose. We need to diagnose you. No, but we understand that human beings are on a spectrum, right?
Yes.
But does it handicaps me from my daily needs, right? If it does, then that's where you need to seek professional therapy, medication help, right? If it doesn't, okay, then that's really a lot of learning to cope, which is like all of us. We learn to cope along the way. We have developed skills, right, to be able to manage. And I think that itself is an important thing to do for yourself, Yeah, so don't overdiagnose every single thing. Yeah.
That's a good point to note.
Want to hear more? You watch out for her future episodes with us. We leave that as a teaser.
Yeah, leave that as a teaser for the next one. What's up, talk?
So Sharon, I think before we come to the end of this whole conversation, right?
Sure.
Any person or any of our guests who have sat there, we actually ask one particular question. And that question is, if there's one word that you will use to inspire the next entrepreneurs and all, what would that one word be?
Try. Be daring to try. Be daring to fail. And always think out of the box.
Wow, thank you for that. I think that's quite interesting. Try, guys. Try. Right? Now, Sharon, before we end off this, again, maybe I'll put your focus to this camera, right? Any last words of wisdom, advice, right, to our viewers out there?
Don't be afraid of mental health. It is really not a big taboo. When you have something that you are facing, that you need some form of support, okay, do just start off by speaking to your friends, your family, and someone that you trust.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you for listening. If you like what you have just heard, follow us for more content like this.